Hi, everybody. This is Maxine Taylor with another edition of Move Into the Magic. And I have invited my dear friend, Catherine Carrigan, to be my guest one more time today because she is so gifted in her field, or should I say fields. Catherine is a #1 best-selling author on Amazon many times over. She is a yoga master. She is a social media expert. And along with all that, and shall I say above and beyond even that, those accomplishments, she is a medical intuitive, and she has done readings on celebrities and people in the news, which I have shared with you. And I'm doing the very same thing today. And by the way, let me give you her contact information because just in case I forget at the end or we don't get to it, you'll have it. It's Catherine Carrigan with 2 R's.com. So today, Catherine is going to talk to us do a reading on Ivanka Trump. I bet everybody's ears just shut up. So, Catherine, welcome to Move Into the Magic. Darling, please take it away.
All right. Thank you so much, Maxine. And thank you everyone out there for watching. So again, my name is Catherine Carrigan, Medical Intuitive Healer. Today is April 5th, 2017. Now, as of today, Ivanka Trump is 35 years old. Now, when I do a medical intuitive reading, the first thing I do is look at your overall life energy. And I don't compare you to a 20-year-old unless you're 20, and I don't compare you to an 80-year-old unless you're an 80. I'm always looking at what is your life energy compared to a person of your same sex and your same age. So as of today, Ivanka Trump's overall life energy is 62 out of 100. So 50 would be average, okay? Now that tells me that she has room for improvement in her energy, and we're going to talk about that a little bit because this is very typical of people in her age group. And we're going to talk about that, sort of getting caught with way too much to do. Now, the second thing that I do when I'm doing a medical intuitive reading is I look at what is your most stressed organ. And the reason I find this so important is that if you understand what your most stressed organ is, then over time you can take care of it. And Ivanka Trump's most stressed organ is actually her pericardium. Now, what is your pericardium? Your pericardium is the double wall sac containing the heart. And what I see is that she's currently experiencing inflammation. So what is inflammation? Inflammation is like fire in the body. Inflammation can be caused by dietary factors, including caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, sugar, fried foods, and gluten. But it can also be caused by excessive emotional stress, which I think is partly the case here. So inflammation is really important to look at and consider if you're dealing with physical pain in your body. So inflammation is a primary cause of pain. It also is a primary cause of aging. It's a primary cause of increased cholesterol in the body. So again, I'm starting on the physical level. So the way I read is I read your physical body, then your energy body, then your emotional body, then your mental body, and then finally your spiritual body. So Ivanka's body type is a heart body type. So there's a wonderful system of body typing developed by Carolyn Mein, M-E-I-N. And this system names your body type by your dominant gland or organ. So I'm finding that Ivanka is a heart body type. So just as the heartbeat regulates the flow of the blood throughout the body, heart body types regulate the beat of their environment. Heart types can walk into a room and create either harmony or discord within a group. And I feel that Ivanka is very heavily affected when we get to the reading of the part on her spiritual level. She's very much affected by disharmony and by conflict and negativity. That very much bothers her. So heart body types approach can be quite subtle, especially when they're in a new environment. First getting in step with what's going on and then deciding whether or not to shift it. Being able to set the beat, they have the natural ability to influence the moods of those around them. Now, one of the things that we know is that Ivanka has 3 children, she's married, and she's primary advisor to her father, President Donald Trump. And I think that from what I can see as a medical intuitive healer, I think that Donald Trump relies on Ivanka's natural intuition to help read the energy around of what's going on around him, but also he's highly dependent on her for his own mood. And this is very typical of heart body types because they have a very powerful effect on the energy and emotions of the people around them. Physically softer than most other types, they impress others as being sweet and lovable. Women are often round and heart-shaped, while the men by heart body types are huggable like teddy bears. So very much able to influence other people just by their mere presence. Now, on the energetic level, what I find is that Ivanka's primary operating chakra is her 6th chakra, which is the center for your psychic vision. And we're going to find out she is very much like her father. Her primary psychic gift is visionary. So this is why she's a fashion designer. This is why she makes the world around her beautiful. So she's relying on that 6th chakra. And when your primary operating chakra is your 6th chakra, what you do is you create a picture in your mind first, and then you manifest your picture in the world at large. Now, she is healthier than the average woman her age, but I always joke the largest room in the world is the room for improvement, and she does have room to improve her energy. And again, this is pretty typical of women her age. Now, she's got 3 children. She's assistant to her father, President Donald Trump, and of course, she's also married. Now, what I'm finding is that Ivanka Trump is currently in stage 2 of adrenal stress. Now, there's 3 stages of adrenal stress. Stage 1 is alarm, where you begin to get stressed. Stage 2 is adaptation, where the stress has been going on for a while. And stage 3 is exhaustion. And these are the people who have chronic fatigue and wipeout. So, and then within each stage, there are 3 stages. Now, age 35 is a turning point for many women, metabolically speaking, as about 90% of women in our Western culture over the age of 35 have adrenal burnout. And this is a side effect of experiencing long-term stress. And if you have adrenal burnout, that can make you insulin resistant. So metabolically, this is a very important time. And adrenal burnout is fatigue that's not relieved by rest and sleep. She's been executive vice president of her father's company on the Trump organization. So everything looks good. This is very typical of people who are high in the visionary gift. Their life's good, looks good. However, it's beginning to take a toll on her energy. Now, if I were her naturopath, her health coach, or her healer, I would be recommending that she test her adrenal gland function every 6 months to guard against sliding into total adrenal burnout. When my clients get to stage 2, 3 of adrenal stress, I'm like, you're at the edge of the cliff here, baby. And if you don't turn around and start really learning how to regulate the use of your personal energy, it's going to be not so pretty. So she's definitely sliding towards that edge, probably as a result of everything that she's responsible for. So it looks good, but it doesn't necessarily feel as good as it looks. Now, on the emotional level, when I asked, what's her primary operating emotion? And it goes along with being a heart body type. So there's an acupuncture meridian, and it's got different names. One name for it is the heart protector meridian. This meridian runs around the heart. It's also called circulation sex meridian or the pericardium meridian. Now, what this meridian is about on an emotional level is bonding. And Ivanka Trump thrives on connection, both being the connector as the person to introduce people to each other, the one who makes introductions, but also as well as being connected. I think that this is one of her primary values in life, the value of bonding. So bonding is something that we learn as a baby. The first person, of course, that we bond with is actually our mother. And so we'll get to later on when I talk about the spiritual level. I think that the divorce between her father and her mother left Ivanka Trump with heart scars. So when we experience wounds that are very, very deep, they're not just emotional, they go to the level of our soul. And she has heart scars on the soul level as a result of the divorce and between her parents. Now, some of the primary emotions in this pericardium meridian include gloom, hysteria, relaxation. Relaxation is incredibly important for Ivanka Trump. And I think she knows it. I think that why during a recent crisis in Washington, she got in trouble with her father because she was off skiing. Well, she knows she's got to, keep the lid off of that pressure cooker as much as possible. Relaxation, stubbornness, tranquility, responsibility, generosity, jealousy, remorse, calmness. Now, so what drives Ivanka on an emotional level is wanting to be more connected. Now, this is very typical of women. Women, we feel safe when we connect. Men feel safe when they produce, especially producing money. So she gets great satisfaction out of the feeling of connection, not just to her husband and her children and her father, but also the country at large. And I think her philanthropic sense is wanting to care for the country in the same way that she cares for and is connected to her own family. So this is how she sees and her vision of what she's doing. Now, you might think of this as being the ultimate networker, which in fact it is, but instead of being the more masculine counterpart, she's feeling that this is more of a family connection, of extended family, of seeing the country at large as extended family, and more of a feeling of wanting to be a mother to everyone. So then I looked at the Myers-Briggs, which is her mental type, and she is definitely an extrovert. I believe she is an ENFP, extroverted, intuitive, feeling, perceivings, personality. ENFPs are warm, enthusiastic people who are typically bright and full of potential. They are imaginative and see life as being full of possibilities. They tend to have a broad range of interests and do well at the things that interest them. So she's in politics, she advises her father, she's also a mother, and she has a fashion company. So ENFPs quickly see connections between events and information, and then that's the connector that we're talking about, and are able to move forward with confidence based on what they see. So again, that's that using her visionary gift. When maladapted, an ENFP has the capacity to be manipulative and use their gift of gab in negative ways. Now, on the spiritual level, she's operating by archetypes, and her primary archetype is actually mother. And I think this is the role of mother is the one that inspires her the most, way above and beyond her career as a fashion designer and even her career in politics. Another archetype that she's living is actually gambler, and she enjoys taking risks. And this is a skill I feel that she learned from her father. She learned from her father how to take risks. She thinks it's fun to be a gambler, and hey, I think she's pretty good at it. Another of her archetypes includes storyteller. So I think she teaches by telling stories, which is a quality of a right brain dominant person. I'm also a storyteller. I tell stories. That's why I write books. And when I'm working with clients as a medical intuitive healer, I tell stories so that they'll get the information on a deeper level. And of course, queen. Now, her primary psychic gift is visionary. Now, if you consult my Amazon #1 bestseller, Unlimited Intuition Now, you're going to learn more about the quality and the gift of clairvoyance, which is the gift of psychic vision. Now, when you're high in clairvoyance, you are able to read the energy field or aura around a person. Now, I'm not seeing that Ivanka is actually to the point where she's seeing auras, but I believe that her father, President Trump, actually relies on her very much for her ability to read people and read the situations. I think that's part of why she's a primary advisor to him. Now, the clairvoyant gift receives information through symbols, images, and pictures in your mind's eye. So again, you see it in your mind's eye, then you create it in the world. The clairvoyants have the capacity to project your energy into other locations around the globe for remote viewing. I don't think she's doing any remote viewing, but again, she's seeing the pictures. Now, they have foresight to see ahead into future events and situations. This is what Donald Trump is relying on her for. They also have retroactive vision into the past to witness details of past events and situations. They may catch glimpses of sequential actions. They're ideal for spotting fashion trends. I mean, that is the gift to have if you want to be successful in the fashion industry. They are great for creating the ideal appearance to fit in to any group or situation. So I think that she's very much involved in crafting President Trump's image. So she understands what image he needs to portray in order to fit in. The clairvoyant gift is also great for decorating a space and knowing how to lay out any environment. It helps you find lost items. It has the ability to give you the capacity to shift perspective, so you can narrow in to your inner vision to inspect things up close, such as looking inside the organs of the body, such as I do when I'm doing a medical intuitive reading, or expand to get a wider view, such as observing the building from a street level. You may receive images in a dream or a daydream, good at tracking the messages of nature. So now, going on to Ivanka Trump and what's going on with her on the spiritual level. On the soul level, I think that Ivanka Trump has experienced heart scars. And again, from what I can see, this is a result of the divorce between her parents. That, like many children of divorce, she took that separation and the divorce itself to heart. The divorces go against her primary value of connection, not just family, of connection. So when connections break, it very much hurts her. So as a medical intuitive reading healer, I do healings to release heart scars. So if she was my client, that's one of the things that I would definitely do with her is to do healing with her to release these heart scars. Now, again, as souls, sometimes we have experienced spiritual wounds to our heart. And I think when your heart is wounded, frequently what happens is that you either close your heart or it gets energetically blocked in some way. Ivanka Trump, from what I can tell, her heart is mostly open, but she does have these wounds, these spiritual wounds to her heart. And again, it all goes back to the divorce. Now, the other thing that I found interesting, I would also do a healing with her to release negative interference on all levels. So sometimes, so she is being affected by negative interference. And sometimes negative interference means that we're not able to use our soul gifts accurately or completely because we're being psychically bombarded by energy and information that clouds our judgment. And what this looks like, if I'm doing a medical intuitive reading, what this looks like, the person herself may have a very bright aura, but within the field, there's a tremendous amount of darkness. And that's what I'm seeing around Ivanka Trump, is that there's a lot of negative interference. And again, I think it's why she likes to get away from Washington. I don't think Washington, D.C. is her native habitat, shall we say. And often when we are being psychically bombarded by energy and information that clouds our judgment, often we're not quite able to perceive this negative interference. We know we don't feel as well as we could, but we're not able to see it. And the negative cords and hooks can be like a weight on one's soul. And I think that Ivanka Trump finds conflict, especially personally, difficult to deal with. Whereas her father seems to thrive on conflict and be able to just let it, flow off his back like water off a duck's back. She takes it literally, accurately to her heart. And it's very hard for her to be in that situation. So I don't foresee her continuing a career in politics. Even if she's good at it, I think the conflict, the confusion, the negativity, and all the negative psychic energy that's directed at the White House, particularly at the moment, is not something that she's finding easy to deal with. So thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in having a medical intuitive reading of your own, or if you are wanting to work with me for medical intuitive healing work, I offer a free 15-minute consult. You can contact me at Catherine with a C at CatherineCarrigan.com. Thanks so much for watching.
Well, thank you. And those of you who are listening as well, thank you for listening. You can see why I love having Catherine Carrigan here. Her insight is incredible. And I just wanted to add something from an astrological standpoint that ties in so beautifully with what you have shared today, Catherine. Ivanka is a Scorpio. We do not have her exact birth time, but we know her moon is in Sagittarius, which sees the big picture. Scorpio is the psychic detective, and she has 1, 2, 3, 4 planets in Libra that love balance and harmony. So I just wanted to share that with our audience because it absolutely validates the accuracy of your medical intuitive healing reading. So again, thank you, Catherine. I hope you'll come back and do more of your, share more of your incredible gift with us. And I hope that the rest of you will join me next time when once again, we move into the magic and we look forward. Until then, remember that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.